Jack Schlossberg, JFK's grandson, daughter of Caroline. He has made himself something of a laughingstock on Instagram. He seems to be, how would I put this? I mean, this is a family where, and I'm not making light of it, mental illness runs rampant. And he's like 32 or 34. He's never had a job except as political correspondent for Vogue. And we'll get to some of those contributions. And he has announced his run for Congress from his home state of New York. So Jack went on MSNBC. This was a pre-record. The way they, if you go look at it on YouTube, the header for this clip is "History is watching this moment." Yeah, I'll bet it is. So Jack announced with like a full professional photo shoot on Instagram, and the New York Post did this very clever thing. They did a side-by-side of Jack Schlossberg on a bike in a suit in the street in New York City and a backwards cap. And it is an exact replica of the way JFK Jr., his uncle, used to roll around New York City, down to the pant leg. I believe it's like the left leg. It's the very specific leg where the pant leg is pushed up so it doesn't get caught in the chain, which, by the way, is something that like kids in like poorer neighborhoods do. Not scions of political dynasties, no matter how problematic. Now, JFK Jr., did he kill his wife and her sister in a wholly avoidable plane crash that may or may not have been a murder-suicide? Yes. Is he the guy we want to mimic for said inaugural run for a major seat? Sure it is. Okay. Now, this kid has problems. Okay. His mother, according to the New York Post, within like hours or maybe a day of him running, or sources close to Caroline. So it's Caroline. Tell the Post, she is, quote, living in fear that her controversial son, he's a failure. Okay, this is a parenting fail. Jack Schlossberg's run. This is a guy who spends all of his free time, which is all this guy's got because he doesn't have a job, roaming through the aisles of like his local CVS and lip syncing to whatever track they're playing through the loudspeaker. Like, this is what this kid is doing with his life. Okay, she doesn't want him running for Congress because she's afraid he's a target for violent haters. Listen, this guy. Okay. The quote, Caroline has pleaded with Jack not to run, but he seems determined to follow in the political footsteps of his grandfather, President John F. Kennedy Jr. Will Jack be statutorily raping interns in the White House? Will Jack be driving his future wife to a mental institution because she's upset with him for cheating? Will Jack be throwing orgies in the White House pool? Will Jack be possibly involved in, you know what, I could go on. But this is all being framed as though Jack is putting his very life in danger by entering the family business. You know, get out. Okay, Caroline herself tried to be handed Hillary Clinton's Senate seat from New York when Hillary ejected that seat to make a run for president. And she's basically went to the governor of New York and was like, give it to me. And he was like, no, go make the media rounds at least. And she tried making the media rounds, and New York tabloids and press and even the New York Times laughed her out of the room because she couldn't string a fucking sentence together, okay? But she thinks this kid is so dangerous with his edgy thoughts and ideas and his provocative nature that like he's gonna get some harm is gonna come to him. Okay, this is the mind we're dealing with. Jack interviewing the aforementioned Doug Emhoff. Doug Emhoff's got more in common with the Kennedys than you might think, but let's hear what Jack's got to ask this guy. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Jack. I'm here with two amazing gentlemen. The second gentleman, Doug, and the original gentleman, Dave. Mm-hmm. And I invented a game, and I wanted to see if they would play it with me.
Go.
It's called Condiment or Sauce. Okay, ketchup.
Condiment.
Food group.
Good point.
Oh.
Sauce. Ranch dressing.
Salad dressing. It's a food. What is it?
No, wrong.
Sauce?
Condiment.
No,
barbecue sauce.
It's sauce.
Right.
Are you kidding me? Jack Schlossberg. This is from the election of 2024, so it's a year ago. Chewing gum smacking gum in his mouth and asking Doug Emhoff and David Letterman. I have no idea why David Letterman is there. And by the way, of the three of them, Dave Letterman's the smartest. No question. He's a smart guy. Smart guy. You don't want to be on the receiving end of that rapier wit. And only idiot men of a certain age who still lionize the Kennedys would play along goofily like that with that moronic bullshit as if this kid is a star. Are you fucking kidding me? Now, as discussed, I am no fan of RFK Jr., okay? I am not a fan, but I don't believe in mocking people for things that they cannot help. I don't believe, and by the way, you know, it was the Kennedy family, it was Eunice Kennedy who established the Special Olympics because her sister Rosemary was forcibly lobotomized by her father, Jack's great-grandfather, Joe Kennedy Sr., who forcibly lobotomized the beautiful young Rosemary, his daughter. And as I posit and ask not, based on what friends of the family long suspected, they were afraid that Joe Sr. was sexually abusing Rosemary, and that Rosemary, who had learning disabilities and had begun acting out, was about to out that secret. And so, against his wife's wishes, against the mother's wishes, Rose, and against the stated objections of his favorite daughter, Kik, who said, "No, Daddy, that's nothing we want for Rosemary," he went and had Rosemary lobotomized, and she lived the rest of her days out, hidden away in a facility in Wisconsin with the physical and mental capabilities of a 2-year-old. And until Rose Kennedy died, not a single family member knew where she was, let alone was able to visit her. And I cannot imagine a fate worse than that. I think death would have been kinder to Rosemary. And so Eunice founded the Special Olympics to give an outlet to and pay honor to her sister and anyone who lives in a differently abled body. Here's Jack, who would have you believe he's the fucking standard bearer now. Move out of the way. He's the fucking Kennedy to beat. Here he is mocking his uncle's disorder, his speech disorder. Here we go.
Hey, everybody, I'm trying to figure out the right present to get Donald Trump for the inauguration. So I found a really rare animal and killed it, and I'm going to give it to him.
If I'm running against Jack Schlossberg, he's going to put Kennedy in there. Trust me. Okay. It's going to be Jack Kennedy Schlossberg. It's a matter of time. Mark my words. I would just have his Oppo research team, or my Oppo research team, scroll through his Instagram and all of the people he's made fun of and all of the names that he's called people. And, there was a great feature. The New York Post actually ran it. I want to say over the summer, in which Kennedy family members spoke to the Post and made clear that Caroline and Jack were now persona non grata. Once the stars of the family, the only living direct descendants of Jack and Jackie, they were persona non grata. You know why? Jack is a liability. They think Jack needs serious mental help. They implied that Jack may have a drug and alcohol issue. Their implication, not mine. So, we'll see how this goes. It's been over 16 years since the federal minimum wage was raised to $7.25. Company productivity has doubled in that time. Has your wallet? 1 in 5 Americans can't even qualify for a basic credit card. The system is broken. Everyone deserves access to decent housing, transportation, and financial stability. And that is where Kickoff comes in. Kickoff helps you build credit fast with affordable plans starting at just $5 per month. No hidden fees, no interest, just on-time payments that get reported to credit bureaus and help grow your score. Users with credit scores under 600 saw an average increase of 84 points in their first year. With premium plans, you can even build credit with the rent you already pay. Only positive payments are going to be reported. It is easy to get started. Sign up in minutes from your phone. No credit check, no hassle. Over 1 million users and hundreds of thousands of 5-star reviews. Make Kickoff the #1 credit builder on the App Store. Start building credit today and get your first month for just $1 at getkickoff.com/Maureen. That's getkickoff.com/Maureen. You must sign up via getkickoff.com/Maureen to activate the offer. Offer applies to new Kickoff customers first month only, subject to approval. Offer subject to change. Average first-year credit score impact of plus 84 points. Vantage score 3.0 between January 2023 and January 2024 for Kickoff credit account users who started with a score below 600, who paid on time, and who had no delinquencies or collections added to their credit.